I lost my message. All right. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I'm pretty sure I got it all. All right. Happy Friday. Unless you're in some other country than America, and it's like Saturday, and happy Saturday. Or you're watching a recording, just say hi, hello, cool. So I am going to work on some Pona stuff, but I have Rathalos Short I've been working on for like the past week on and off, and I want to get that finished. So it's really just a lot of cleanup. So it's trying to be edgy and funny. So if anybody knows the game,
are any of you vampires?
so it's simple, but it's just supposed to be goofy. So most of it's already done. I just have to do some cleanup and touching up the edges. But it's if you have not seen Monster Hunter, there is, when they're introduced, they're in a... Oh, no, I don't want to actually play the video. No, it's going to stop the other video. Anyways, so that's what that looks like in the background. And so I was just going for a similar thing. Actually, I could probably put a little bit more red into it without going overboard. Because I don't... SFM's not an engine that's going to make it look the way that they were able to make it look. There's really no way. The particle systems are better. They have more unique models built for what that is, and the lighting is much better. I'm running on a 2004 engine, so it's about getting close. So, though I could probably actually drop the aperture. I originally had the aperture up a lot because it hides errors, and I didn't like the look of this ground here. But that was because it was before looking like this. And then I went and added some more details. Hello, Syria. With rocks in it. It looks a lot better now. Syria, you responded to me, but I was making dinner. So I can cover what you're looking for now. Because you had the question regarding how to make particles move. And actually, I can do that in this. So there's these... I have these little floaty particles, but what I can do... Oh, you know what? I'm just going to copy it. Then I don't have to worry about accidentally pooping it. So I'm going to go into this particle, and I'm just going to make these bigger so we can actually like see what the hell it's doing. Oops. So, because to me, there's two different types of what you consider motion. Like, so how you want to move a particle? It's either, hello, food's in the oven, on the oven, and in the air fryer. So the two ways you can move them are you can either have them attached to a model, so you're wanting to move with the model, or you're just wanting motion in it, like falling particles. And it sounds like since you said you're doing floating stars, then that's probably going to be the same as this. Because I like just putting random like sparkly things in there, mainly because when you're moving at like a side angle or just in all with the camera, it creates like this full 3D mesh that you now can feel like you're within. So that's that's my main reason for doing it. Plus, air is dirty. So, but for this anyway, so if we want to have this move, there's a couple different ways to go about it. So for this one, I am just using mainly movement basic. I have turbulent force on here, but it's not going to really have an effect with what I'm doing. So what turbulent force, or not turbulent force, what movement basic is about having gravity. And gravity will, it doesn't interact with any objects, but it's an accelerating force at basically, I would say the speed of gravity for like maybe, well, not 1, because it depends on the object, but it just has an accelerating force. So the higher that is, the faster it will accelerate to. Well, a lot of the forces are more of a consistent. This is like an exponential. So for these, because they're not living very long, I'm just using gravity. So if you're looking to have a particle that is just like floating in the air, and you want it just going up or down, this is all you really need to do. And the nice thing with this is that it will do an acceleration. So if I turn this to 100, right now positive means up. So they're going to actually speed up as they go. But they're only living so long, so it doesn't matter. But if I go in here and then make this, say, negative 100, then they're going to go downwards. And you can also do left, right, up, forward, backwards, whatever the other X, Y, Z directions. Drag is going to be a hindrance to gravity, and I haven't figured out what the benefit is of increasing drag compared to just decreasing gravity. So I never really played with like comparisons or anything. But for this one, I don't want it to do too much. But let's say that you have like let's do snow. Snow's one that's fun to do. For snow, I don't want it to be like an accelerating force. I want it to be a constant force. So that's where some of these come in handy. So turbulent force and random force are one option, and the other option is with, I don't know why it's not in the other one. So you have position within box random. I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to add position within sphere random. I got made a little sun here, so I'm going to make that bigger. Let's say, I don't want bigger than that. Okay. So we have a bunch of stars here. So the Hi.
Hi. I bought some White Claw. You want?
I have some Truly in the fridge too.
Just full booze.
So for some reason, position within sphere random has this position, local, and speed min max. These actually work too. So I can put like a speed of like 1,000 on here, and I thought it was constantly coming at me, but it's not. It's constantly being emitted away from. So I guess that would actually be the usefulness for it. I never actually paid attention to that. But that's so if you want to have it being emitted from a central point, you can do that. But I don't want that. So we're going to go 0. And I'm going to go put on a random force and a turbulent force. And then it's just about picking a direction. So like, but this is all XYZ within the world. So if I pick 1,000 here, they're all going to be moving. But if you're wanting to have this be like snow, it is going to accelerate up to that force. So you want to put things outside of this.
So this looks really good, by the way.
It actually turned out really good.
Yeah.
The potatoes turned out really good. I think I figured out how to do the air fryer now. There we go. So this is just going to have it go one direction. But say I don't want it to just go sideways. I mean, that's not what snow does. You're going to want to maybe have a little up and down motion. So we'll add, let's just say 500. Well, now it's all going up. Well, let's do and I don't even think this is going to do it. Okay, so this is going to make it so then now some are going to have somewhere between 500 and negative 500 up and down, which is more of what you're looking for. But it's all a uniform speed. So this is where the turbulent force comes in handy. So this is where you want to have it mess with the up and down motion. Usually whenever I use turbulent force, I just go and take what's here and I just multiply it by like 100. So let's just say 2, 20, 50, 100. And this will start putting in a little bit more of that drastic motion. So let's even up that a lot more just to get an example. So it's all going to go up. Is there a way to make it also go down? Because I've used it before for some stuff, but the general premise is the same. For just adding a little turbulence to it then. You can also do, though I don't, if you're going to do it, test render it first. There's oscillate vector. So oscillate vector will toss things up and down a bit more. But I've had problems with oscillations not rendering correctly, where it will, like I was trying to make it so that when a bird hit a tree, which exploded with feathers, and I wanted them to kind of like randomly fall down, it didn't work. It looked great before render, but when I rendered, all of it just collapsed into one central point, and it was the oscillations that caused problems. So for some reason, the engine doesn't like rendering oscillations, and but you'd have to play around with it. I would just test a pre-render of it, even if it's some super quick, low quality one, before relying on it to do any type of like oscillations and changes. But I haven't played with it too much because it's I spent a couple times relying on oscillation and it messed with me and screwed me over because then I had to redo it. So kind of got a bad taste in my mouth and I don't touch it anymore. So, but this is also based on the XYZ for the world. So now it's going this direction, and there's no real way to make it stop going that direction unless you do like a local space within the box random. But that has its own downside. So you just have to play around with it to try to get the X, Y, and Z correct. So, but let's see what it is that you're. So yeah, it's just falling stuff. So I would make sure that when you're doing it, have emit continuously. Have it set to a decent value, but watch so whatever makes sense for, because the larger the area you're working with, the more you have to produce faster. Pay attention to your particle count though, because if you have a random lifetime, but your particle count is say like at, let's just up this to like 500, and it might do it. Yep. So you're gonna get this. I can do it a little bit more. You're going to get this thing where it's going to spawn so many, but then it's going to hit its cap, so you're going to get a bunch at once, then nothing. And then it's going to start spawning them over a little bit of time at a more consistent rate. And it's not hitting, it's hitting the emission cap, but it's now playing with the lifetime the random amount of lifetime on a particle. Because if I go to my lifetime random, it's between 3 and 6. So some of the ones that died after 3 seconds were starting to spawn again, and after that initial hit, and now it's balanced because of it. So you either want to decrease your rate of emission to match your particle count so that it doesn't hit your cap. So see, I still hit it again. So let's try 300. Still hit it, but I'm pretty close. Yep, I think 200 would be fine. So you can do that to keep it consistent, or you can increase your max. max you can possibly have is 5,000. You can just set it to that, and if your mission count's never going to hit that rate, then you don't have to worry. But I would try not to be sitting at the 5,000 max. If your viewport only has so much room and you're spawning particles that are sitting way outside your viewport, you're eating up a lot of processing power on things that you're never going to see. So it's better to try to fit it to just what you can see. I've had plenty of times where I've hit the max and I was wondering why it wasn't behaving right. So I hope that kind of answered what you're looking for. There's a bunch of different ways to move a particle, but it just depends on what you need to do with it. For what you're doing, I think that movement basic with a negative downward motion is probably going to be just fine, because it's just about having something fall. I would just make sure then that you have like a alpha fade and decay and alpha fade in simple. What alpha fade and decay does is when it spawns and when it decays, it's to fade, and this fade simple will give you a little bit more control over the fade in, and there's also a fade out simple, and lifetime random, so that they then live a random amount of time. You don't want to have it being like every one of them is the same amount of time, because it starts to look weird. That's kind of pretty though. So do something random with that in that regard. So yeah. Almost all the particles I make are using about this mix of stuff, just in different ways. For really what you need, either just put a negative movement so that if it's falling, so instead of these going, let me let them live a little longer, so that they're falling, just do like a negative 40. Let's go higher than that. This is where, like I said, you want random time. And since you're also dealing with things that are going to fall into frame, you don't want a big round area. So I'm going to remove my bias on the z-axis, so that it's just like this. And then you can put your camera below it. So these would probably need to live longer and whatever, but
I remember you doing this for the snow in that one Rathlos video.
Mm-hmm. That's why I was kind of using this as an example for like some of the turbulent forces doing. Well, even snow though shouldn't accelerate. This is accelerating. Snow is going to already be hitting its max downward force. It's going to be floating downwards. So usually you want it to be pretty consistent. So yeah, and then if you want random force, you can do that as well, and then just put it in the negative direction. I'm thinking. Yes, I thought. And you also need movement basic on there because it's a preliminary requirement for any type of motion. So if I don't have it on there, it's not even going to show any motion, even for the turbulent and random force. So, yep, that's it.
So, while you were talking just now, I came up with a joke. It's a good one.
No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not.
What do you call a unicorn that works as a telephone operator? You have to say what?
I'm guessing. You can't just have you give me the answer.
It wasn't intended to be a riddle.
A unicorn working as a telephone operator? What?
A communicorn. Because of communication.
That was really stupid. Like, it's a different level of stupid. I haven't drank enough for you.
Yeah. Best joke.
Anyway, like I said, I wanted to try to finish up this one that I was working on. So, hopefully I should be able to finish that in like an hour maybe. So, oh, damn it. Hold on. Broke this stuff again. These stalactites are broke. He said you made a horror joke. He didn't even laugh at it.
I laughed at it, but only because the joke I knew was bad. That was how much why it was funny. It was a dad joke at its finest.
So this is mostly done.
Oh yeah, that's.
Okay, did I break the thing? No, I didn't. Good. So a lot of what I need to do on this, I think this guy is all done. Box up in the kettle. But it was I actually figured out how to do rigging to get these guys rigged. So the motions was a lot easier, and also to figure out how to do. Like to add joints so that I can do like this with the wings, which is pretty useful. Though I have to fix the rig because they're locked to his to the world when they actually should be locked to his chest. So if I move, his pelvis, his wings. Oh, actually, okay, I locked the wings to him, but if I don't, it should not be staying where they like that. It should be going otherwise. But he's happy. He wants treats. But yeah, I think I finally understand how rigs work now, so I can actually like do this. And it was a less complicated than I thought. So I guess there's a meet tomorrow. But what I need to do mainly is I think on this guy, I just need to get some of the details on his wings and then his little floppy bits to like move correctly.
What are we doing tomorrow?
It's the mall meet.
Cool. Yes, you should make it then, Surya. We would love to see you.
There we go. So he goes up. I can't see the outside. Oh no. So there, you can see his wing come up. So I do want to have something here. Ever so slight. But then when he goes up, I want to have everything go up again. Okay, that should work.
Guy's skin's falling off.
That's the point.
You should probably have that looked at. Dermatologist.
Well, that's actually one of the reasons I love the model. Was because I've always believed that some of the extra motions that things do are what actually make them look realistic. And being that they have these little floppy bits coming off here, though this one is not mapped right, being that it's grabbing that part on the head. But having that there just helps add a lot of character. Though the eyes do not have eyelids, so I have just a black, I call it an eye blocker, that just goes in there, and when I want to have his eye shown, I just have it slide back into his head. Plus, this model is weird too in that its jaw has two different bones. So it's got its outer or its top jawbone, and then it's got its lower jawbone, and then it's got his interior mouth.
Not booping it.
But it makes using the mouth difficult, but also where you can put some neat detail. So like when he kind of growls here, I had to have the jaw like from below come down to hinge right, and so it's actually pretty neat working with the model. And this guy, I think I even played. I think I did a bit more with the mouth.
That guy looks like he's just in constant pain.
Well, the actual creature is not the stuff that's on him.
Yeah, but that mouth, look at that. He needs like $10,000 for the dentistry.
I don't think the monsters go to a dentist.
He needs to. Look at that. He's stabbing himself in the face every time he closes his mouth.
But he's not fully closing his mouth.
That's because they hurt. That's why he needs a dentist.
I'm pretty sure. But if that was the case, then to him, life is pain, because that's the way he's built.
Yeah. Look at him. Life is pain for that guy. No wonder he's so grumpy.
Michael.
What?
Michael.
Go see a dentist.
No.
Look, your bottom teeth are stabbing your lower jaw.
What?
Cannot be comfortable.
He's fine.
The guy is at Dragon Co. Don't cover his dental. True, it's a real problem.
Okay, so I want to grab just the jiggles. Seems like there's more on here than I want. Okay, don't want the eye blockers. Don't want lights, cameras. Yeah, I knew while I was saying that you were going to do that. Okay, now I should be able to... Why am I seeing your collar? Oh, wings. Okay. Alright. So, I want this to fold in a little bit. So this problem is here because that bone is, or that joint is on wrong. But I'm not going to bother right now with it. So I'm going to do this, but I'm going to grab all these lower ones and I'm going to turn them a bit more. Okay. What is this one, or is it this one? Both. So I usually just cheat this by... I'm probably going to have to actually turn this in. Wait, can I even see that? Yes, I can. Damn. I was hoping I could just hide it.
good.
Yeah, I just went and did the whole thing in. This is not a sharp turn. Okay. And then just something here to flop backwards a little bit. Same thing here. I'm gonna have it go up a little bit.
The story behind this guy is when Swamp Thing and Pete the Magic Dragon have won too many drinks, this is what happens.
And actually, when he
No
lifts
one was happy.
from here on, he should probably be tight, a bit more bent like that. No, he is an Elder Dragon from Monster Hunter.
I like my story better.
I don't remember his full story, but he does survive off of like a miasma that he uses to basically kill all his prey. So his introduction actually has it where everything in the area is just basically insta-killed by it. So just want to grab this and this. Just delay it. Okay, and now these bottom ones of his, I want to have a lot more drastic motion, these two.
I feel like he just has like dreadlocks all over his face. Face locks.
So he actually needs to. I think this is what needs to happen is right there. These are hanging down low, so I'm assuming that it's going to have a lot of leverage in its push or its pull. So.
Do you think he has a hard time getting a date with the dragons?
I'm pretty sure that they all look like him. A rabbit's not going to go and fuck a wolf.
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, if for a dragon, I'm thinking he's probably not that attractive.
No, because he's a species, so he's not going to go to reproduce with other species.
Are there others of him in the world?
Elder dragons, I'm actually thinking there's not many.
Well, that's probably because they're so ugly. If they weren't so ugly,
They never really bring up how the lifelines of giant creatures on a small island are maintained.
they can't even look at each other and be like, yeah, I'm not touching that. So there's only like 3 of them left in the whole world. They're like, but the species. And you're like, yeah, but no.
Have you looked at yourself in the mirror?
Maybe they're
Let
like
the species
pandas.
die. Yeah, they just...
It's not that there's anything wrong. They're just fucking lazy.
Too much effort. Maybe after a nap. That's what you said last week.
I think that
Wait,
should.
why is Rathalos there?
That's the whole point of the joke.
Oh.
Is he has the bit that says what was it?
Are any of you vampires?
That's actually pretty funny.
That was the whole reason I wanted to do this.
Are any of you vampires?
Don't be sucking my blood now.
I did the animation for him earlier today.
Are any
Rathalos
of
is
you
pure. He
vampires?
knows he's the best looking dragon in the room. His species isn't gonna die out as a result.
Well, there's just something about him like you could always. He's so fun to like make emotion in because he always looks kind of angry, and so it's just perfect. And I thought his animation for that actually turned out pretty good.
Are you vampires?
So, no, the whole point was I heard this line, and I always thought that they looked vampiric, so then I went and did this whole scene just to lead up to this joke.
Just for him to be like... Yeah, that one's actually pretty funny. GG. For a second there, I thought you were just showing off some of the improvements you made with the model flexes, but nope. Joke. More Rathalos. I said yes. He gone.
Giggity.
Gee.
The problem is it's rigged, so it's like...
Are any of you vampires?
And that was the one thing I figured out with when I was working on the rig too, was all the other models when I was working with Rathalos, the neck bones, these two were fused.
Okay.
So it went right from this one to this one. And I was wondering why there was a skipping of that bone in the rig. Well, it's because it just wasn't paying attention to it. It was ignoring it completely. So when I figured out how the other ones worked, I went in here and added his neck bone. So now I actually have his mid-neck bone on his rig.
Good.
That was frustrating before because it's the same thing here, but this was... I can move there and there. That was it. So I had this long part of his neck that I couldn't touch. And now I'm able to get a lot more of the correct bending. I'm able to only work with what audio Francis has, so that's what it is. Which, if I had somebody or myself was doing the voice, and I could pick any voices to be done, I think that the character would be bad because then it's no longer tied to somebody that somebody already knows. And
It'd be less random.
And it's less random because I'm taking audio from other things and I'm able to get weird ideas because I'm taking audio that already exists. If I was able to pick what was done, it probably would not be near as funny because I'd be writing the jokes. Well, instead, I'm just animating around them. So I find it a lot more fun to work with it like this. And I have an audio file or a save file. Why'd it go here? Well, it's not in gaming.
Yeah, I saw you working on this one a lot. Over the week.
I've been taking it real slow. I've been poking at it. When I actually I'm working on stuff with it, it goes pretty quick. I think it's July 18. I have to rename these. Yep. Here's all the audio for Rathalos I've found so far. For things that I'm going to have him say.
Oh, shit. I just hurt. Anyone want to guess what I'm hating right now? Nobody try to help me. Unless you want. Don't move. I have a plan. I hate fish. Oh no, I like eating them. That's one of the ways I let fish know how much I hate them. Just my goddamn luck. Whoa. Hey, wait a minute. Nope, not a chance. Bite me, Colonel Sanders. Is there any one of you four who isn't an asshole? Are any of you vampires? Oh my god. You hate stuff too? No, no, no. I am a cop. Hey, Ellis! I hate your hat! Haha!
It says
I hate your
it says Ellis, but I can remove the Ellis part.
I get to be a character in Monster Hunter called Ellis.
Hey, Ellis!
All I have to do is take this out.
I hate your hat! Haha!
No, I'm refusing to use character names from Left 4 Dead
Oh yeah.
because then I am naming people, and I'd rather have it where it's just that's who he is.
Just saying, if there was a character in Monster Hunter named Ellis, it would be perfect. Then you could hate their hat.
Nobody, if there is, it's nobody that I'm big enough. That's one of the problems with the damn Twitter account. Is there's a lot of people making references to things that I haven't played the game enough to know, so I have to like figure out ways to respond to it, even though I don't understand it. And it actually kind of works out probably to my benefit because I'm looking at it from his perspective, being ignorant of anything outside of his area or domain. So it's gonna break the ceiling again here. Oh no, it didn't. Haha.
This one's all done, eh?
No.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was. You can't tell that it's off the rock.
Oh.
I ain't gonna do that.
Oh no, the rocks are there. Yeah, I need to fix that. Oh, that was the most recent one I put on. Just wasn't paying attention, I guess.
I got some more of that mead too, by the way.
Sweet.
Wisconsin makes a lot of booze.
So is there anything left I have to do on him?
I think elder dragons, and I think that these are just like retirement home dragons.
No, they're just ones that are tougher than other ones. One of them's a unicorn.
Old men are tough. Wait, it's a dragon unicorn?
And somebody made a full animation where they use an MLP character, and it's actually really, really funny.
See, somebody's fanfics came true with Spike and Rarity, and this
You know
is
what
happens.
you know what its name is?
Sparity.
It's called Kieran.
No, it's a Kieran. It makes beer.
But if you look at its face, it's not 100% like.
Horse or dragon? Oh, with that face.
But it's also a
Grumpy.
bitch because it's like electricity based and it can be a tough one. So, but yes, there is a horse one. But there is a 2D animation you can watch out there. Somebody who just fully animated like the hunting the Kieran, and it's an MLP horse they put in for it.
You will have to send that to me because that sounds amazing. I didn't know if you know this, but I like them small horses.
I think this guy's wing, I want to have move at least a little bit. Oh, I have to be careful. I'm going to get into the animating range.
You got your dramatic music for that part all lined up?
No, there's no music.
I mean, you gotta have dramatic music. You got like creepy dragons coming out of nowhere.
Dramatic music for 4.5 seconds?
Yes, and it cuts off abruptly for Rathalos. Or it's just like, so you guys got any like vampire creepy music? You can find something
Okay,
stock.
I know perfectly what to add.
Oh no. Just add music from Ravenholm. From
Oh, I don't have it. It's gonna crash if I keep it
Or
open
something
too long
from
enough.
Left 4 Dead.
No, I was gonna do Meatball Parade.
Meatball Parade?
Yeah, it's like bom 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 bom.
I think it would be good if you had some like lead up music.
But no, as soon as I add music, it changes timing completely. Without music, I can usually jam things in quicker. As soon as you add music, it drastically extends the amount of time I have to put in for stuff because the music does filler. So it probably wouldn't work very well. Because it's the only thing I would potentially add is some kind of ambient thing. No dramatic music, just some kind of like creepy build up at the beginning. But that's like super ambient type things.
I'll find some ambient then, because that would work.
If anybody needs music, in Computech is probably the best resource out there. It's a single guy makes all this stuff, and it's all Creative Commons, and he's just getting better and better at it as time progresses. And some of it's really, really good. But I want horror.
I think one of the horror ones is Study and Relax.
How's this horror?
I can't hear it, so I couldn't tell you.
It's just the ragtime music.
Maybe like
probably
like creepy circus kind of deal.
Oh, the link no longer exists. That's why it just defaulted. So it's supposed to go to genre horror.
The link must be broken.
Unless you got rid of it and named it something different. Oops. That's Funkorama. Okay, wait. I probably... I'm like, that doesn't sound like horror either.
Funk.
That would be too long of a build-up to potentially do. But that's actually very ambient.
Yeah.
Just like a Friday the 13th thing.
How do we get...
Nope. That's a really big build-up. This one could actually work, though. It's just very, very, very ambient. I swear I will never remember this. I think it's 44100. Yeah. Okay. If you don't, it doesn't always work right, or it sounds bad. I'm actually going to keep that because I need to remember it's from him. If I ever put it on YouTube and whatever, I have to put the Creative Commons release.
I'm imagining it's amazing.
What is?
The music.
It's barely music.
The ambient sound.
It's actually very soft here. I'm gonna see if I can go to the build-up portion. It's a lot louder here.
I wear soft shoes? I don't know. I walk heel to toe. It commands a very demanding presence.
Sure. Yeah, it's a very, very quiet one. I'm just making sure I didn't have... Oh, that's why it's quiet. Because I have this set.
Are any of you vampires?
It's great.
Are any of you vampires?
Actually, using the cut there is pretty funny.
Nice.
But see, now, because of it, I want to have more time in the beginning for the build-up. This is why music is tough.
You don't have to do that.
No, I don't.
You just are driven.
Are any of you vampires?
But now it continues on to something else. So I want to cut it here while he's talking. And set fade time, fade out over 0, like most of a second.
Are any of you vampires? Are any of you vampires?
Okay, that works. But I don't like fully silent while he's talking, so I'm still going to use the normal cave. I'm just going to set the volume lower, and I'll have it fade in over 0.5, let's say.
Any of you vampires? Are 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 any of you...
We're all ominous and promoting.
Well, and that I just dragged it there, and that's they left it. That's was
great.
timed right.
Wonderful.
Damn, now I want to add like 3 seconds.
Resist.
But then I also feel like if I'm going to do the music,
Little flutter. So have you run out of videos yet to put on Rathlow Says?
no, I got like 3 left. I've slowed them down. I think I put out one Monday, one Tuesday night, only because scheduling wasn't working. So I did a Tuesday night instead of Wednesday morning. And then I was going to put out one this morning, which was this one, but then I didn't end up putting as much time into it as I wanted. And then I have a couple more for scheduled for early next week.
Well, we ended up needing to kill some rats.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't... I probably still wouldn't have finished it last night. But, so it's... Okay, so I had that backwards. There we go. So I just added to the camera. It's what are they? Is it called parallax? Now I have to know if that's what it's called. Parallax.
All these fancy terms.
There's a difference in apparent position of an object viewed along two. I think I want to know if I have this right. Oh, parallax is that the spinny bit?
Is it how the camera is moving, or is it basically making things look like they're just displaced? Like the background's all like the object in the camera is like.
Oh, okay. Okay, so actually that is kind of what's happening then, in a way. So what I'm doing is, if you move forward and zoom out, or and zoom out, or you move backwards and zoom in, you get distortion of the background where it changes the perception of space in between. So that's what happens here, where it's supposed to be like everything is, you're getting kind of closer but not really, but everything in the background seems to be like shifting. I love being able to do that effect. It's like this or like this. Mm-hmm. And I love that effect. And then if you want to make something seem what would you call that? If you want to add horror or make something seem unnatural, you tilt the camera. So that's why I have the camera slightly tilting.
Do you want another drink?
Sure. If you want to grab me one of the Trulies out of the fridge, those are cold.
Oh, sorry, the White Claws.
Yeah, I picked up my Trulies.
Are any of you vampires?
Okay, this needs to go super. Nope.
Are any of you vampires?
Hello, Ivory. I think I moved that. I did. Well, not that one.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say that. Oh, not this one. It's like when I said I didn't care which one, I didn't think you'd get this one.
I mean, you got me the normal one. Wait, I wanted the one with the color in it.
Do any of them have color?
No.
Well.
I was reading online that if you want to make your own seltzer type, just get seltzer water, a little bit of vodka, crushed fruit, and a shot of lime. Or spruce of lime. Or not, yeah, lime.
So essentially just seltzer water and vodka.
Yeah, but the fruit adds a little bit more of a flavor, and the lime is to offset the alcohol flavor. Going from soda to that, though, is like, my body's like, wait, what?
Are any of you vampires?
Hello, Ivory.
Are any of you vampires?
I think he's done. I really don't think I can add anything to him.
Vampires?
I feel like after he says that, the two dragons need to just kind of look at each other.
I thought about doing that.
You vampires?
But I would have to change the zoom And if I gave the
I think you
focal...
could do it from right that very shot.
No, I would have to change probably the focal.
Oh yeah, change the focal. That'd be it.
But at the same time, I think that it would just not work. A lot of what I've been doing for a lot of the characters so far has been where he is humanistic and everybody else is still feral. So that's why even Rathian is dog-like for two reasons. One, it's funny, and two, I don't want to add lip motion or lip controls because that takes a lot of time, and it's just the same as him. So fuck it, I'm just gonna have her bark. I do want to go and add. Now that I know how to do the rigging, I'm more willing to open up a whole different model. Like I thought about. There's one big beefy one I kind of want to do, and then give him Coach's voice because I just want to have a big beefy monster say cheeseburger apocalypse. It's a one-man cheeseburger apocalypse. Okay, for one, is his eyes actually looking at that person? I don't think so. Left eye needs to go in a bit more. A little bit more.
Are any of you vampires?
Yeah, now it looks legit. Does it look like he's looking at him? Yes. That's the one other thing I wish should add is make it so he has a single point to look at, but his eyes don't work that same or that way.
You're late, Blur.
Yep, just trying to finish this up. I've been working on this on and off for last week, so I'm really close to the end. So,
Are any of you?
Sure.
you know, I was busy too. I was busy providing entertainment, and there you are, just not even showing up.
Are any of you vampires?
So the main thing here is adding animation to these guys.
We are not disappointed in you.
Are any of
Oh my. Good job you had, Blur.
I said I was providing entertainment, and there's nothing weird about that. But when he says it, oh,
Wait a minute. There's nothing weird about this?
well, weird in a different way. Oh, and for some reason, when I was working with Rathlos earlier today, for some reason, his oh, I don't want to grab that one. I didn't move him, did I? No.
you?
No, for some reason, the rig. Oh, now it's working. What? I was going to use him earlier, and like, if this did not work, I tried reloading it, and it just didn't work. But now he's working. And then when I use this one is broken too. Why do you work now?
He flew away. He flap.
Stupid brat.
He did the chicken dance.
Oh, he's gonna punch yourself.
He goes his hand behind his head. He's just like, whoa. Sorry, dude.
Are any of you vampires?
He's got flap. The only guy. He's got flappy wings. I was actually kind of proud of that because using a rig for wings. I don't know how it turned out. And actually turned out pretty good. Because I'm making these guys growl, and now I kind of want to, like, from here on out, all other monsters are just different varieties of dog. Any of them are just bark, bark. Is there anything I want to do with his wing here? I think because of the camera, the shifting like that, I don't think I need to.
Nope, they're big dogs. Big, really ugly dogs with tooth problems. They all need dentists. Look at that one. That guy needs a dentist so bad his teeth are coming out of his chest. It's not healthy. That right there is why why they're a dying species. That has to be painful.
Yeah, they have a symbiotic relationship with a poison cloud. I'm pretty sure he's got some problems.
I mean, ain't getting no dragon girlfriend with that. That's for sure.
Again, why does it always come back to like relationship and sex?
I'm just saying, look at that. He rubs up against her, he's gonna stab her to death.
But look at the moves.
Oh my. I see what you mean. He do dance. I'm gonna make a little love down tonight.
Look at, he's happy.
Yay! He bounce. He bouncy bouncy. I mean, you gotta think about it, the survival of the species, man. It's about preservation. You gotta make those dragons hump. They're a dying species. And it's not hard to see why. Evolution just came to these dragons and like, yep, gonna kill it. The ones that didn't make it. Anti-dragon. Well, it's not entirely false. In fact...
That means not true either.
Well, I don't hate dragons, but I sure as heck ain't booping them.
There's more to life than boops, Michael.
Is there? I'm not so sure.
Okay, now that feels better for gravity.
Spike ain't getting boops.
Like, no, Spike's not a dragon. He's just useless. Though he definitely did some working out after season 9.
He got all buff for rarity, as far as I could tell. I think they intentionally kept her single just because of all like the people who wanted to ship her with Spike.
Nobody else was shown to have a relationship. Pinkie Pie, they didn't state that she was with Cheese Sandwich.
They had a kid!
But what was his name?
Little Cheese.
Yes. Did they ever say that it was with Cheese Sandwich?
Yes, in the script.
But in the show?
It was heavily implied.
Maybe it was a one night of love.
A lot of the relationships were simply heavily implied.
No, they're all. I think that she just had a really, really, really bad Pinkie Pie party night, and she didn't take the pill.
Yeah, and Cheese Sandwich just happened to be there, lying on top of her.
I mean, if they don't say it, it's still open for.
I mean, yeah, that's the argument some people are making.
The Apple Dash is still just an implication.
It's a strong implication,
But it's still an implication.
Yeah. But the only thing I question is, was the implication intentional? And if the answer is yes, then that's all I need. And the answer is yes, they did imply it. They just left it open for people to have fun with it, is what they say. But to be honest, the reason they left those relationships open to interpretation is because they would get banned in certain countries if they didn't. Like, I'm willing to bet, like, when that airs in Russia, they're going to cut out the stuff with Lyra and Bonbon in the background.
I'm pretty sure this aired in Russia already.
Well, then they probably already did. Because that stuff's illegal over there. Can't show same-sex relationships on television.
Are any of you vampires?
No, they couldn't state it outright, but they could imply it. I think that's pretty cool.
What was the other? They implied Fluttershy and Discord as well, pretty heavily.
But again,
Which
it
is
could
a
just
little
be
weird.
that they're hanging out.
She just lives in his house
Yeah.
for no particular reason. And they implied that at some point she said she wanted to marry him, but that doesn't mean anything. But I did like Weird Al's response. He's like, I've been getting a lot of messages recently about people saying that I had sexual relationships with a horse. And I just wanted to say that's not entirely true. It was like, oh, that's the best thing ever. He's a wonderful, wonderful man.
Are any of you vampires? Are any of you vampires? Are any of you?
Yeah. I'm just gonna go myself.
They did release another one of those stop motion shorts today.
I saw.
Yeah. You said you
You
liked
posted it
them.
in chat. I like the style. I never saw him yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen them. They are fun.
Are any of you vampires?
Oh shit! I forgot to.
Pumping them out like crazy.
They probably had him done for a while.
Vampires?
Probably. Yeah, these little stop motion shorts. There's 3 of them now. Like My Little Pony shorts. There's also like 2 Pinkie Pie 3D things. They've got a lot of pony stuff has come out since ponies has ended, and it's kind of all over the board.
Any of you vampires?
It's interesting. It feels like they're trying a lot of different things, seeing what reactions they
Any
get.
of you vampires?
Kind of like the show isn't really over. It kind of isn't.
Isn't.
Well, you know it isn't.
They're gonna be doing other stuff.
I don't know.
You're just saying it's over because you're pessimistic.
Look, guys, but it's not over. I said it's.
You said that you feel like it's not over, but that means it implies that it should be over.
I don't think. Well, I don't know. I am at a cross. The show is at a crossroads at the very least.
Are any
Oh shit! This was supposed to have one more than that.
But there's definitely content out there, and not to mention IDW Comics is still pumping out the comic books. Just did like a Transformers crossover, which is a little weird. I might actually have to check that one out just for the spectacle.
any of you vampires?
See if Rainbow Dash finally kills Starscream, like they always said she could.
Yes, because murder is what the comics are going to do.
Are
can't
any
murder
of
or
you
what?
vampires? Are any of you vampires?
I could walk up to R2-D2 and smash his head in and nobody would do nothing. Because he's a robot.
Are you vampires? You Vampires? 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 Vampires?
I always think that was kind of a big thing in the 90s in cartoons and some kid shows, is that they were always fighting robots because you could beat up a robot without like breaking some rating guideline. You beat up a person, you cross the line, but if you beat up a toaster, it's fine.
So one of the reasons zombies you can get away with more gore.
I don't know that you can put zombies in like a kid's
Not a kid's show, but no, but that's why it's like zombie shows tend to get away with more gore than normal because you're not doing it to a person. But that's what makes zombies so weird is that they're kind of people, but they're not people.
I think zombies work as like
Vampires?
horrible villains because you know that they're void, and at the same time they just work.
They're to me they're creepy because they're uncanny valley. Because your brain thinks that it's a person and should act a certain way, and then it's not. It's acting feral, and so your brain is confused and gets scared.
You vampires?
Vampires? I think another reason they work is because there's no like moral problem with killing a zombie. Like there's no question that they are bad, that they have to be put down. Not like with Frankenstein's monster. That guy was just a level below. Sure, he accidentally killed one kid, but you know. I've liked some of the stuff they've done with Frankenstein in the past. Like showing him like intelligent versions. What was that Hellsing movie? Was pretty good. I don't know if you remember that one. Yeah, I'm rambling.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
You're doing your wiki dive.
I just brought up an old movie I watched like 10 years ago.
Do you know what a legitimate wiki dive is?
What's that?
It's where you're going on Wikipedia and you see something else interesting, so you click the link, and then you see something else interesting and you go to the link. Your brain works that way, where you look at so much random fact information that when you start going down your own wiki dive and conversations, where it's like, Michael, you've been going for 10 minutes and we're not even talking about that anymore. You went from Power Rangers to lettuce. Like,
That would be a fun conversation to track back through.
I know, but at that point, people are trying to have a normal conversation, and you injected yourself into it and then diverted it.
My conversations are normal.
Let people talk. Well, that's why. There we go. Now I can see. Oh, that's bones. I don't want bones. There we go. Oh, this one's going to be tough because I'm working with the bad side of the face.
Why is that the bad side of the face?
It's the one where that bone's attached to the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But I added that face motion, not just for the motion of him, but the motion because now I can animate these. Just to come down with him. But, as I thought, I can't just churn this because it's going to drag that other one with it. So I have to, where this, actually I don't even know if I can. No, because the left one I have almost no control. That's it.
Hey, could you help me get this spaghetti off my head? It's everywhere.
Hmm?
He wants to get the spaghetti off his head. He said, oh, I'm so sad.
Because that's not going to stretch. That's unnatural. So how do I fix that? Oh, maybe that'll work.
can hear that music and it's pretty intense.
It's not for this.
Yes, I know. I don't know what song that is. It's very intense.
Okay. Now I'm going to take everything and just smooth it. Oh, actually, that's the wrong one again, isn't it? Yep. I'm not going to worry too much about these guys because they're going to be blurred out anyway. Though I should have his wing move a little bit. Oh, that's why. I'm like, why doesn't it let me select that? That's because it's not the wing. This elbow. There we go. Okay, so that's something. Now you have a couple different motions. Thankfully, from this angle, I don't have to worry about that other animating thing that much. Okay, so now this motion lets me do a little bit of extra bits.
These chairs need cushions. These chairs need cushions. Let's trade.
Happy New. Oh no, I don't want to have your Selecting Rathalos down there.
This chair is too comfortable right now. I'd fall asleep in it. I'll go get a pillow. The closest pillow is all the way over there. And it wouldn't fit this chair anyways.
Plus, I don't want your butt sitting on a pillow, and then I gotta go like put my face on it.
I gotta be dissing my butt, man. I have an amazing butt.
Says who? Your mother?
Says me. I'd hope not.
Michael, you have a really nice behind.
Like, no!
away. No. The implications, not good.
Super tiny amount. Sicky oh shit. Looking at you.
He's like, those are bedroom eyes. I don't want him looking at me. Tell him I'm not into dragons.
For the blue light that's hitting him, he stands out, but I feel like then that leaves the background like not getting hit by the same. So let's see what I can do for adding this blue light back here. Actually, I kind of like that. Don't need much, just a teeny. Just a teeny. There we go. Actually, what? Ah, there already is a number one. Okay. Oh, these are shadowed. I have to be careful with that. Actually, I don't think I'm going to put it over there. I think I'm going to see if I can add any over here. Even if it's just a patch of it like this. There, now it creates like an artificial location that the light's coming from. Creates a lot of extra definition back there. Oh, set for lighting? Well, to me, lighting's different every time. Like, the nice thing with this one was, because I was recreating... I don't have it open anymore, but... because I was recreating something that was from a different shot, or at least close to a different shot. So, that made that easy. But... it's hard to... There's no, like, one solution for lighting. It's always based on what the situation is. And I like working in low lighting a lot better than bright lighting, because I feel it's a lot easier, because you can hide a lot of crap in low lighting. Okay, I think this might be done now. Is there anything more I can do on him? I'm gonna check the facial stuff. I did a check before where it's just going slow to catch anything weird. The P doesn't close. Can't have a P if your mouth doesn't clamp. Back his jaw off a little bit there. Oops. He's eating his nose.
Is it tasty?
Looks like it's made of black licorice, so it's likely to stay in your glove compartment for half a year.
Still there.
Yeah. Might eat a piece next time I'm in the car. And then immediately regret eating black licorice. 'Cause that's how black licorice works.
Yeah, that actually looks pretty good there. I found just moving the jaw forwards and backwards, and like if you want to make like an I sound, it's just bring the jaw down, forward and out. That's a better or if no, that's I have him do that.
Have him go a little bit further, and he can swallow a deer whole.
But he is like he actually all the mouths in freeze frame might not work, but you can put them into really weird bends and positions because it's a smear frame essentially.
Yeah.
So his mouth is very dislocated there, but so like this is which I don't like putting a lot of like extremes into lip syncing, but once it's actually done, it's a lot easier to figure out what I can.
Vampires? Are any of you vampires?
Yeah, that actually works pretty good now. Okay, his teeth out here. I added teeth in and teeth out just for the purposes of like anger and to have more use of teeth, because that's all that teeth in and out do. Is so teeth in pulls them in and teeth out pushes them out further. So I guess in all the way and then out all the way. But I found it's better for like if you're doing O and A where you need to have no teeth showing, it's great. And then when you have like E and want those stronger, you can put it back out. Yeah, that looks a lot better.
Are any of you vampires?
The problem with the Rathalos, though, I always find frustrating is that I have them talk to the camera a lot, and from the front, it's the same with ponies. Ponies don't look as good from the front when talking. From the side and profile, they're great, and same with him. It just doesn't work as well from the front.
Are any of you vampires?
But I like doing mouth twisting. And you can actually see I have it a bit here.
Are any of you vampires?
So like here, I twist his jaw a little bit. And even here at the end, his jaw is twisted sideways just a little bit. And it adds a whole different feel to something. So you get that from the front, which is nice. I think too, I'm gonna because I can't I don't have these set up to where I can control the face separately, but I don't, that's not going to do enough. Or like it doesn't have stereo controls, which is what this is. Stereo controls make it so that when you have a flex selected, say this, it would be for let's say the pucker. So right now pucker goes forward and backwards evenly, which I guess works better from the side angle. And what that would do is it allow me to only control the left side of the mouth, only the right side, or somewhere in between. So it's pretty nifty for being able to do that. But to do that, you have to, I believe, set them up separately, and then they're just used together. And when I made them, I didn't think ahead. So, but I think.
Are any of you vampires?
I can't really think of anything else. Oh, actually, I did forget one thing. This guy's wing. Stationary the whole time.
Are any of you vampires? Vampires?
Okay.
Are any of you vampires? Umpires?
Okay, that should work. Alright, now I think everything's done. Oh, actually, no, there were a couple things I forgot to do here. So, for one, bones stop here. I'm going to add a couple more here. And when I changed the camera, I changed it so I could actually see into this area. And so I got a floating bone to get rid of. There it is. Oh. This is an important bone. I need to make sure that stays visible. Without it, the rest of it doesn't really feel like bone. I feel like there's another one floating right here. Oh, it's not really floating, but it still feels weird. Oh. I know what's going on with that. Let's see if it lets me override this. I don't think so. I think it's called no call. So I want that to be a 1. But it really works, so oops. See if that works. There we go. Fixed. So culling is a process of saving processing on materials by removing it from one side of your one face. So for instance, a rock, like these models that are under here, when I go through them, I can see right through them because they don't have any textures from their inside. That's because why process textures if you don't need to from one side? But some things do require that, and maybe this didn't need it because of the angle it was used in, but for the angle I had it in, I could see it. So I said I had to turn off the culling so that it allowed me to see textures on both sides. Which means that this model itself is actually not 3D. It is a collection of 2D surfaces. If it was 3D, then it wouldn't. It would be showing in the outside surface of the other 3D side. But that might actually fix the whole reason I did that. But now I have another issue. The light from underneath is lighting the interior of its head, so maybe I will keep that off.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Distracting.
Got the one glowing eye.
Yeah, but then it's 4.5 seconds long. I don't want people looking around everything on their first time through. Everything else is supposed to be subtle and in the background. If I drop it a little bit, it gets rid of the whole reason that I had the problem. Though I want a little bit of definition here, so I might move it a little bit. That should be fine. So we said you'd add maybe not even a couple more bones, but at least some of the rocks. So I had the main ground, but then I went and added these much more higher detailed or higher resolution rocks, because otherwise this is what they'd look like. These are a lot higher definition, and the lines that are on there are actual divots instead of just bump maps. So I just tossed these in a couple key spots to add extra definition. Is that really all I needed? Just that? I'm gonna add another one back there. Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah, that works too. I guess there's multiple different ways to do it. The one thing with culling is that you have no control over that other side. It's just the inverse or the other side of the texture. But no, there's probably tons and tons of different ways to do the same thing. And this is also just working on a very old engine. I think that's one reason I want Source 2 to be working more than anything else, is just having more up-to-date methods of lighting and controls, and like, 'cause some of the stuff is just definitely outdated. Okay, and now when I also go back here, I'm losing some of my volumetrics.
As far as Schwartz Maker 2, it already exists, doesn't it? It's just not very good.
And it's not that it's not very good. It's material overrides don't function in there, and they are my bread and butter. Without material overrides, I'm nothing. I don't know if you can do scaling or not. A lot of the features that were added into this version of SFM over time, even if it was a long time ago, were not added in that version yet. And material overrides mean that every time I want to modify a texture, I have to go into the source file.
Yeah.
And that means that if I change the way that Rainbow Dash's texture works for a video, I'm changing her texture in every video. The overrides allow you to change it specific to what you're working on. I love overrides. And so to me, it's without getting rid of them is just too detrimental. Okay, so I don't like the cloud being brought too low. But I think, where's my particles? So I wanted this, I had that green smoke coming up, but it starts late. It doesn't start until about, let me see here. Is it just taking time to get up there? Yeah, which means let's take that movement basic and we'll drop it down to a smaller value. So now it's not going to travel so far. because I do have this back rendering for the time, kind of. I think what actually will work is if I back, this gets messy when doing it this way. Going into negative time is difficult. Okay, so I'm saying that I'm adding exactly 1 second. Even then, that's tough. It's because it wants to force the other direction. Okay, so that's exactly 1 second added. No, this one's being weird because normally you can only back run a particle so long, but to get the effect that I want on this, I have it running at 0.2, so I'm now working with it going 5 times the speed, or 1/5 the speed, but that is effectively, in terms of the whole thing, reducing that back time by 1/5 to 1/5. So I want to see if, do I have to have this? Do I have to still go higher? Why is this popping up red? There. Oh, this threw my music off by a second too.
Are any of you vampires? Vampires?
Okay, now I have a green smoke in his face. So we'll try a different random number. Still kind of does, so let's try a different one. Maybe increase its count. Oh, actually. I thought maybe I was hitting cap and that's why it was being weird at the beginning. I just brought this up earlier. It was, I think, hitting its cap though. So what I think I'm also going to do here, this is kind of a circle, so because it's a rounded surface, so let's try making it a circle. And then I don't want it spawning in the entire circle, so I'm going to say only in that. Can I have it only do the top half? Yes. So only doing it around the outside edge now. Can I actually go like more up the edge? If I do 10. Nah. I'm thinking absolute value means make it positive no matter what. Ooh, maybe this will work. Ha! Wait. Maybe not. Yeah, I don't think it's... Oh, no, it is. Because it's got way more at the top than at the bottom. So that is actually biasing towards the top. There we go. I don't want to put it too thick there. Alright, so now we just have to position this correctly. So 300, actually is about the right size. I think we might need to go a little wider. Let's go just a little wider. So this is, by doing that, it's going to pop it up higher. That's fine. Just drop it a little bit more. Drop it a little bit more. Radius random is 24 to 48. We're going to go 12 to 36. We're going to shrink it down a little bit. Actually, that's too small then. I want more smoke, but I don't want it to be towards the top. So I'm going to take a copy paste the same one. Hello, Jinxie. Thank you and welcome. Your subscription has broken my audio. There it goes. He wanted to make sure that you knew. I'm going to put that one a little bit more forward. I'm going to try to hit it so that it's more towards the camera's viewpoint. Yeah, so we're actually going to take this one and we're going to shrink down that circle a little bit. Just this one, though. Make it easier to work with in our area. Ooh, that actually might be just about perfect. That actually could work. I think I'm going to go into this one, though. This specific one. I don't care about the other one. We're going to move this just a teeny bit more into blue. The lights themselves are more like a teal. And the green seems a little off. It's a little better. No, it's for some reason like because it's Comcast probably. I used to be running on US Internet. And US Internet was constant speed. Well, Comcast keeps your speed low and it just increases it when it thinks you need it. So when I'm streaming the audio works fine until like something interrupts it and something happened, so I can't like play another video at the same time anymore. And it used to work fine at my last apartment, but this one has just been, the house here has been bad about it. I miss US Internet, but US Internet does not provide service where I am anymore. But US Internet was 1 gigabit, or I could get 1 gigabit download, 1 gigabit upload, and it was constant, no boosts, no nothing. It was just constant high speed, and they had amazing customer service too. That's why this one's looking weird. It's hovering in front of the rock, so we're going to take this and just move it a little like that. I'm going to try something. I don't think it's going to work, though. So she's probably going to crash because I got to load another library, but... Yeah, Comcast is stupid because it's normally sitting around like 30 megabit download, like 5 megabit upload, and until it determines that something is happening that needs a higher amount. No. Naps. I think I made that too, and I don't remember why. There's a specific gobo. Ooh, this one might actually work. I was looking for the inverse of this, but this might actually... Well, even if it's I want the inverse, I can make this the inverse. Good, this is infinite distance too. I might need to play at a higher distance, or at least a higher zoom, because I don't want it to look like small little patches like this. I wanted to have unevenness to it, so that's kind of the point between having it be big. But I can see the line right now where this is cutting, but I think that's the other light. Is that interfering with my camera? Not really. So let's leave it. I want to make sure I'm not hitting the guys in the background. That should be fine. So it's the only reason I don't like Comcast is things are inconsistent and their customer service is horrible. I would rather have consistently slow than where I don't know what I'm going to get at some time. Plus, US Internet, you don't have a modem. US Internet was you plugged your router into a wall. So there was no modem to deal with. I didn't have to restart anything. When I plugged it in and signed on online, I never talked to anybody. They just sort of pictured the apartment and said, based on the address, and said, "Is this where you are?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, "Your internet runs now." It was anytime I changed contracts, because I was using gigabit and then I was never using gigabit, so I downgraded to 500, and they changed the speed within 20 minutes of me emailing and reimbursed me for the difference. And then they ended up having a changing of plans, and so I went to like a 600 plan because it was actually cheaper than the 500 one when they changed it, and that was within about, I think, 2 hours because I emailed on the weekend. But within 2 hours, and then they just charged me instantly the small amount of difference for the rest of the month. No, US Internet was super, super good. I really miss not having them. I really wish I could increase the contrast with this because it's going to fill in some of the gaps otherwise. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the brightness on this pretty low, so like this. And then I'm going to I'm going to put 2 of them. So this one I'm going to have it cross. So I'm going to have it go like that, and then I'm going to maybe spin it a little bit too. No, the other direction for which way I'm going. It's going to make more sense. Oh. I thought this was a flat texture. It's not. It's an animated texture. No. That doesn't work then. Because it looks like they're freaking at the gymnasium or the public swimming pool. No. That would have worked. There might be a non-animated one. Or even just what I was originally looking for. But I was looking for, like, patches of light, and that was the inverse, where it was unpatches. I wonder if I can find a non-animated gobo of the light. There we go. If that's animated, then that's more than just the VTF. That has to be a VMT attached to that. So I actually could find that file and tell it to stop animating. I saved it so I can go back to that exact one. So this is Gobo, no clamp, Gobo Essentials. Gobo Essentials sounds... I don't want to open up the thing and load the library, but Gobo Essentials sounds like something I would have downloaded on the workshop. Yep. It is just the VTF. Okay. So now what we do is we export and see if no play button. Perfect. So I was thinking that the export was going to do frame by frame, and I was right. There we go. So I want caustics, this one. Yes. Yeah, actually, that's great. You just shine that under the water, and voila, you have yourself a good cheap water effect. That's yeah. I never use it myself, but I never use any underwater stuff. But no, very very good. Oops. But what I want to do with this is I don't want to have it just be a single like texture that's going one direction. I want to have it be. There we go. So I'm going to do a 180 with this, and that should have it go the other direction. Yep. I'm going to move this over here. Okay, now it's whether or not this adds anything to it. So the purpose of this is to create uneven lighting, mainly at this level right here. And not just to have lighting that sits there, but to have lighting that kind of moves. I feel, though, that it probably can... One of these can move more. I don't need to have the other one move more. So which direction are you going? You're going to the right. So let's have you go to the right a bit more. Let's have you spin a bit more, too. Go up. Okay. Yeah, that definitely helps. It makes it feel like the ground is alive, which is at this point what it's supposed to kind of be. I'm wondering if... Should I even have depth of field on with this? Because right now this is, I think, a 50mm shot. I think I'm going to keep it on just a little bit, just to make those back ones a little bit hazy. But I think I'm going to actually keep it up quite a bit. Because right now this is, I believe, a 50. No, this is actually using essentially a 35. So if I'm using a 35, the background should definitely be a very low aperture. This, on the other hand, is, I believe, a 105. Oh, no, it's somewhere in the middle between the two. And in that case, I do want a good amount of blur. Mainly because I want the focus on him, not on the front here. And I did try to play with him to make him, like, shinier. To make him look more like how they're reflecting light. But I wasn't able to do it the way I wanted it. He wasn't looking how I was looking. So I'm just going to leave him the way he is. This guy's hand goes down too. Should I make a noise for that? I think so, but I'm going to make it a very small noise. Where is that guy's footsteps? I believe this is using a... That's a fade time. A speed modifier. It is not. So I'm going to set this to 1.3. Let's just speed it up a little bit. Okay. If there's one thing too I wish that SFM would add is the ability for you to modify volume not based on not just based on like higher and lower, but left and right channel. Because sometimes a sound is going to be coming from the very left side or the very right side, and you want to focus it so that if you put it slightly higher or decrease the volume on the right side, it'll make it sound like the sound is coming from the left side because it's just louder. And I really wish I could do that in here. I have done that in After Effects because After Effects lets you do that, but they don't let you do it here, and that's kind of sad. Unless there is, and I'm just confused. But I went digging through here, and there's nothing here that helps you do it. Though I did find, because if you ever change, like if you go in here and say edit clip and then set timescale, you're setting the timescale for the actual clip. Well, this up here by doing pitch changes it, but doesn't change the clip speed. It's weird. Channel 6. I did play with that and it didn't do anything. But what is level? I wonder if that can do it. I didn't play with level. but I need something that's going to easily tell me which one we're working in. So we're going to go in this clip because it's easier to get access to. Save. And I'm going to go -1. Okay, so now we do -100. Okay, so that's, I believe, just volume. I didn't want to do positive because I didn't want to have it be like volume for increase and be very loud. Yeah, and then pitch is just... Oh, that's not even gonna, it's gonna break it now. Yeah, it didn't do anything. And then I tried direction too, like doing that. And that didn't do anything. I wish you could. Well, wait, origin. I'm wondering if, or I was wondering like if origin is based on like camera position and it will like let you pick an orientation offset from the camera, which would actually be pretty nice, but apparently not. So yeah, it won't let you do the cool stuff. So yeah, I don't want this to be loud. Just something small.
Are any of you vampires? You vampires?
Okay. See, I think that one is done. The only thing I'm going to potentially have to do is in post, I have to see how the lighting is. I don't like this right there. Okay, that's fine. And the original, it did have a wall back there, but that's fine. I don't have to copy it exactly. Is there anything else to add? you be able to notice those? Actually, those can be pretty big, like that one right there. Okay, yeah. I was going to make it bigger, but I think actually that's going to be fine.
Are any
If you just do a search, well, that was for one is Gobo Essentials, but that was off Workshop, so you'd have to go into the Workshop. If you, it's actually not a bad idea to go into the Workshop and just search for Gobos. It's super easy to make your own Gobos, but at the same time, it's also nice to be lazy. So just search Gobo. So yeah, that's the first one that popped up here, Gobo Essentials Redux. Explaining his future. There's no overlay materials to add in a specifically designed noise layer before some converts to color. This stops us from running off the pixel colors into solid bands. And results in a gradient perceptually closer to the railers some originally captured. Okay, so for one, right for an 8. I mean, I understand what that's saying, but they're writing using with words that make them sound smart. You got to write simpler than that for people. I might have to look into that, because the banding fix to me is not too difficult to fix, but at the same time, it is something that. No, actually, you know what? This is a different problem. It's an overlay, but that's fine. I'm gonna. I'm looking at that later, because what a lot of this is doing is it's the gradient isn't doing a really good job of dithering, and dithering is where if you're taking two colors that are really really similar right next to each other, because say it's not able to process that many versions of gray, so you have it's right next to each other and you can see those lines of where the colors change, which from here to here. Dithering starts to take those same colors and just starts crossing them into each other in dispersion patterns, so that it perceives it as something else. So if you actually look really really close here, you can actually see that these are still using the same colors. It's just overlapping them and mixing the pixels in between each other, which is effectively dithering. Actually, I can show you a really good example of what that is. Because knowing that it fixes something is one thing. Knowing why it fixes something is a lot more empowering to me. I can actually show you how this works in Photoshop, because I have to deal with it with GIFs. But if there's a fix for that, that actually would be pretty useful. How long has this been around? Shows what I know. Plus, well... Oh, it's sorted under material. I don't really search that. To me, something like this sounds like a script. So I would normally look under script. For I might even look into it for this, because like what I was originally thinking was, you can see here that there's those layers from the volumetric. I thought that's what it was meaning to fix, but no, it's when it is processed. And actually, for this, it should be fine, I think. It's if you're dealing with a gradients that are very, very close that it would start causing problems. No, so for this Rathalos one that I did, there's a lot of really close gradients on the edges, but if I go and export as Safer Web, one of the things that options it has here is dithering. And if you do it at maximum dither, well, first off, GIFs have a limited amount of colors, so you could only put the maximum of 256 colors, meaning that if you have a huge variety of colors in the GIFs, so where you have the full rainbow spectrum across the board, the GIF is going to have problems because it's not going to know how to. It can't store that many colors. So if a GIF has less variety and higher or lower contrast amongst all the other colors and less saturation, it will look better because it can start dispersing those colors. See, these are the 256 colors that are being chosen. If I can even drop this like 16, and I will save. So I went from 35 megabytes, and this will drop it to probably not by much, 21. But now it's only using 16 colors, and it's like, how the hell am I going to do this? And the reason it goes in increments like this is because the only way it would save data space is if it uses less. If it says, am I using a full 8-bit or 8 bits of a byte, or am I using only, which is 256, or am I using 7 or 6 or 5 or 4? And by doing that, if it's using 6, then it can go 6, 6, 6, 6, 6 in a row, and it can save a lot more space compared to 8. But dither, you can see I right now have 10% dither on. If I put this to max, the size is going to go up drastically. From 35, it's going to jump to 61. But now you'll notice that there's very, very little gradient, or a lot less of that like overlapped color. And that is because it's putting a lot of effort into saving that space, but in doing so, it's having to save a lot more information. So to me, for most GIFs, for one, I wouldn't have it this big. Is if I have a high enough contrast image where I have a lot of reds, greens, blues kind of going all over on this one, having a 100% dither is going to have too much of a file size increase as compared to just dropping a little bit. So now I'm down to 16. But if I put this dither to 0, now you can definitely see those lines on those edges, and that's what it's trying to do. It's similar to what SFM is doing, or at least a similar effect. Though SFM's is more of I don't think it's because of it. It doesn't do any dithering, but it's still using millions of colors, but sometimes they're still very close. But normally, if to me, going from a dither of 100% to 90% is a pretty big cost savings, where you still get a little bit of that the ring effects, but overall, when it's moving and stuff, it's fine. But going from, what is that, 9.8, and then you can do that 10% and it goes up to 16, it's a huge jump. I mean, I wonder if 80 gives you that much. Yeah, 80 drops it from 9.8 to 9.4, so it's not too much difference. To me, that 90% is a pretty big usefulness. And for some reason, I haven't figured out why. Transparency, if you turn it off, it increases the file size by a lot. I don't know, because my thought is oh, you know what? I think I might know why. I'm guessing that last bit tended to be skipped. Well, now it's adding it as a color. So, but no, that shouldn't have that fun. I don't know. Well, yeah, okay. I was going off on a tangent for the technicalities of stuff, but knowing why something is doing that helps you figure out how to best to solve it. So, but I'm probably not going to bother doing that thing in here, because I just don't think it's going to have an effect on anything. All right. So I only got like 25 minutes left, which isn't really enough to start anything. So, I think that this is 100%. where I want it to be. I wonder if... Why did this have shadows? Okay. So I'm going to see if I can add this effect to him, but I'm going to do it in a different way. No, I'm probably going to stick with the same way. I was thinking about rotating it on the edge, but it's going to look weird if I do that. I'm going to keep the normal glow, but I want to see if this helps at all. Okay, I don't like that direction. Okay. I don't want it to be like a full-on, like, bright spot. I want it to be a moving bright area. If I do this and then I turn down... No, that one's fine. So if I just keep just this one... Yeah, that's not going to work on its own. Because I kind of like that idea that, like, the light underneath them is alive and feels like it's moving. So I think I might actually keep that. Though I don't know what it's 100% going to look like until final. So usually got one, but I can drop that still a little bit. This one ended up being brighter because of the hill and how it looked. I felt that it worked better with him being brighter in the green and this one just taking more of the red in. Can you even notice the... Oh, it just depends on where it is. So... if I set this to offset, I can spin it without spinning its or changing how it's moving, physically moving, which is what I don't want to do. I don't want to actually have it change where it's the direction it's moving in. Okay, does this lighting make sense when it gets to them? Here, yes. Bright red, dark on the edge. Dark on the edge, bright all the way to the face. Yes.
Are any of you vampires?
How goes it?
I think we're done.
Yay.
Added kind of a uneven lighting effect that's kind of going across here.
Mm-hmm.
And I also did it underneath him. So it's kind of going across. Same with that one too, but it's just less noticeable.
It's very creepy.
Are any of you vampires?
I do kind of want to see some of the comments of this one.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like I went from posting daily to not, and it's like used to be I'd get messages constantly throughout the day, and now I've actually gotten a couple hours without anything. So it's like weird.
The Rathalos fandom's already dying.
No, I get random messages from people that are just trying to like something in the game piss them off with Rathalos, and so they message me telling me to like God damn it, you're not dropping something. Somebody once said, hey, can you drop your mantle already? And I said sure, just drop your left leg and we'll make it a trade. Because like you want my body part. That was the other one that the whole reason that I had the god Rathalos was somebody was again complaining about the mantle, and so I was like, bow to your king and all shall be received or something like that, and so he does a gif of bowing, which I knew he was gonna do, and then I followed it up with haha, just kidding, gonna stomp you or something like that.
Are any of you vampires?
How fast or how much is
for some...
okay? Motion blur is minimal too. That's good.
So, can you add Derpy to the video?
You do know that that's gonna go wrong, right?
Rathalos boop Derpy? Is that what's gonna happen? No!
I'm thinking more like
Look, I have to ask every video, can she be in it? It's my job as a dirt horse fan.
yeah, I'm thinking it'd be more like right around here. Putting in the
You can't kiss that horse.
be like putting them in. It'd be like this.
He's too big. I get slobber all over the horse.
And this is for
Derp for life, yes. Derpy is not on fire. She is good horse. What good horses don't burn? I didn't even know you could do that. Just draw.
horse.
Go here.
It can't let go. That's the thing.
The one time cursive is still useful. Morsel. That's lewd. Yes.
No, it's for when you're here, you can use it to select. But if I just keep holding it down, it just keeps making lines. So you can do anything you want. So you can.
No. Why is everyone so mean? He got glasses. He's smart, Rathalos now. Are those his ears? I can't tell.
Well, actually, that would work.
No, it's not healthy. I guess he breathes fire, so smoke inhalation.
Oh, drunk Rathalos? There we go. We can do.
What's he drinking? That's a big old bottle of booze. I'm pretty sure he could get drunk off that bottle of booze because it's the size of his head. He's got coffee. He's got... No, it's got whipped cream. He's got hot chocolate. It's fancy cup.
Yeah, you can get anything. Give him a baseball cap. I'm gonna color it in. There, it's colored in.
I mean, I see you stayed in line, so it's good.
It's actually really hard on here because it's not built for detail.
You and a lot of
I wonder
preschoolers have that same problem.
I wonder how much lines SFM will take
Before just listen too many lines. Probably more than we have time for, but that's bullets and things. It's holding up pretty well.
If you think about it, it's got to process every one of those lines.
I mean, to a point.
But it's not just making a line, it's making every single pixel in between those lines.
I feel like compared to what our source filmmakers are already rendering with just what's on the screen, that's nothing.
It depends on whether or not this is made to be efficient.
Seems to be doing a good job. I can't make out anything on the screen anymore.
We have been attacked by spiders.
No. Spiders are dragons' worst enemies, I think. I don't know.
If we do this for the next half hour, we might be...
You do have like 12 minutes to fill, so, keep drawing lines.
It's getting there. So just keep going across the middle. You can actually get it pretty good.
Yeah.
Actually, when I was doing it like this, it's kind of looking like a space trip.
You've had a lot to drink.
Actually, I've had nothing. I've had one mixed drink and this, the Truly.
If I drink more than 2, I get sleepy and go to sleep.
Yeah, but you're just sitting and watching.
This is true. And there's no cute horses to keep me super invested.
This is very important work.
I see that.
Oh, I missed a spot over here. It's very important that we fill all the gaps. My hand is wearing out because I'm going back and forth and I'm having to keep left click down.
I could be taken out of context so easily.
This is years of computer work building up the endurance for this one moment.
I just feel like this is what happens when your brain's just done. This is the moment. This is the moment your brain just went, nope, no more, done.
And actually what I want to see is YouTube only has such a high bit rate, and actually probably Twitch as well, to where it's probably not able to even process half the crap that's going on. It is endurance training. Like,
preparing for those mouse moving Olympics.
well, like in the middle here, we're actually getting pure white.
It's a snowstorm.
Attention to detail. Yes, this. If you ever want to know what it's like living in Minnesota,
I mean, yeah, that's not entirely inaccurate. It's just endless white all the time. At first, it's fun, yay, winter wonderland, and then you're like, please go away, snow. I want to see ground again.
we're seeing how many lines we can put on here. So SFM has it where when you go to select multiple things, you can lasso it. But if you keep holding the button, it just keeps making lines.
He's lost his mind.
And so I was wondering, is there a limit? And as far as I can tell, it is still just having no problem building billions of lines. What I'm curious about is the engine in the background is probably trying to determine what I'm selecting, and it's like, what? What?
I'm more curious at this point to see what happens when you let go.
Nothing. It'll just go away.
Oh. And then you'll have lost all your work.
It's
So
like
you can never let go.
Yes, this is a very important question. Should we give it a shot and see what happens? I want to make sure that we're getting all the gaps here so you can not know what's going on. Okay.
Oh my god!
It did it! We did it!
You broke it seconds before you let go. Congratulations!
It does have a limit. Okay, I have answered a very important question.
Yes. Endurance test.
I was about to quit.
You were moments from quitting.
This is why quitters never win.
Did you win?
No, I can't remember if I saved it.
Just delete it.
I'm pretty sure I did. No, from having to do that for a good 10 minutes, my arm is sweating.
Doing it for 3
It was 10 minutes. It was exhausting.
Yes.
What did I do that I could use as a track point? Nah, I can still see the lights on the wing, so yeah, we're fine. Yeah, well, now I know that you can crash SFM by putting
Too many lines.
by doing too many lines. I can't remember.
You broke lines forever.
It's one of those things of I know what the button is when I need to do it, but when I'm not thinking to do it, I can't remember what button it is. It's gotta be there. No. There we go. So yeah, when you hold control. We just kept doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But you could draw fancy pictures. You can draw like a person.
Looks just like you. What is happening? What is that supposed to be? My name.
Written in horrible. I can't write cursive with a mouse. It's not.
I sometimes forget how you make Z's in cursive because they're weird in cursive.
How do you make a Z in cursive?
Did you follow that?
You could have just went, and I would have been like, yeah.
It's like big, small, loop, up.
That sounds stupid.
It is dumb.
I can't remember
last. Nothing like a print Z.
But I can't think of many words that have a Z that I would write that have a Z in the middle of it. Surprise.
Okay.
It doesn't have a Z in the middle.
Okay. I didn't give it a thought one way or the other. I trusted you. That's all.
But anyways, so yeah, this is all done. I'm not going to be able to poke at this anymore. I will get this rendered out then. What are we looking at for time on render?
Z's, a lot of the letters in cursive look like they're print versions, but Z's not one of them. Z is its own little thing.
One. If you ever want to do a quick estimate for how long it takes to render something. So this is a 60 FPS video. Yep. So we're running it at just under 9 seconds. And it will take... Oh, why did I open calculator? I need clock. Oh, there we go. Hold on. So it's about 3.5 seconds per. So 3.5 times by 60 times by 7.75. 141 seconds. No, that's not right. Is it? No, that's not right. 3.5 times by 60. Yeah, I did that wrong. Times by 7.7. Oh, that's why. I think I didn't put the... There we go. I didn't put the period.
I think one of the only reasons I still...
27 minutes? Oh, that's a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. So, yeah, I'll be able to get that done tonight then.
I think the only reason I still even am fairly good at reading cursive is because my grandmother wrote everything she ever wrote down.
Well, I can read cursive.
Yeah.
I can't read whatever the hell it is my boss writes.
Yeah, well, that's... Yeah.
Because he takes notes for everything, and all it is for reminders. But he'll hand me, like... he'll, like, take a bunch of notes or stuff, and they'd be like, did you want this? I'm like, I can't read what it says. Like, legitimately, it is illegible. It is worse than a doctor. I have no idea. I have to, as he writes it, take my own notes as to what... It's like I am making the Rosetta Stone for his writing.
Yeah. Does he write... is it horrible writing in print or horrible writing in cursive?
It's just he puts the pen down and then the thoughts come out, and it doesn't always make English. It's just... It's funny because he knows what it says, but I have no clue. But anyways, yes. So that'll be enough for tonight. I will be back on Tuesday, 11th, to do pony stuff.
Yay! Maybe
but-
you'll even animate some.
Huh?
Maybe you'll even animate some of the pony.
No, I have to work on Sons of Shimmer. But now that I know the rigs more, or a better understanding of the rigs, I might play around with the pony rigs to see if I can
It only took how many years?
improve them. Well, no, I poked at them 3 or 4 times since I started SFM, and every time they frustrated me. But the main thing that I was always frustrated about, and it was stupid that I just realized it now, was well, that's not a good example. Rigs are confusing, but I always went through and changed all of these, and then I actually thought about it. I'm like, what does this num mean? Well, num is about saying when it runs the process at the end, it says num 3. So it's not actually using all of these. It's only using the ones that say num 3, which is saying that there is 3 spine bones. So I was playing with like these ones and these ones when this is the only one that mattered. So as soon as I figured that out, when I went and erased everything that I didn't need for the rig that I'm working with, and then I just started poking. That cleaned it up so much that the rest of it just made sense because I didn't have all this other stuff watering it down. But rigs are confusing. They're, but I still don't know like how this works, like how the fingers work, but I don't need to. But now this is like for coloring it and grouping it, and this is for adding things to those groups. This is for building the actual bone structure. This is for parenting everything. This is for just defining what they are. So, yeah. Now that I understand it better, I can go to the pony, and I don't think I can make it better, but if I better understand it, maybe I can do something. I don't know. Pony rigs piss me off. So, anyways. But that will be it. I'm going to keep SFM open because I'm going to start rendering it here.
Render away.
And yeah.
Just don't forget to add your...
So, have a good week and stuff. Have a cat.
Meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow.
Cat. And good night. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna start.